Hello again, fellow BeachBum traders. Thank you for joining us for part 2 of our weekly trading game plan for the trading week of May 15th through May 19th, where we'll select our top swing trading stocks to watch, the stocks we have on our main watch list, in our bullpen, and our shopping list, etc. We'll also talk about additional trading strategies to make money while we wait for the market to choose a trend, and again, additional ways that we can make money trading while the debt ceiling is looming, and we'll talk about that. Welcome, Walter Lyons, Ricky Khan. Thank you for joining us in the live chat. And we also, again, want to wish all of you a happy Mother's Day. We hope you show your love and appreciation to all your mothers out there, and we hope that you're enjoying a great Mother's Day. So, again, happy Mother's Day to all the mothers out there from all of us at the BeachBum Trading family. So here's our notes for part 2 of our weekly trading game plan. This is a Google document that's publicly accessible. You can find a link to this Google document in the description box below. We store our notes for our weekly trading game plans in a publicly accessible Google Drive folder, and you can also find the link to that Google Drive folder in the description box below, so you can refer back to these notes as well as notes from our previous weekly trading game plans. Welcome, John, Mylan Todorov. Thank you for joining us. If you haven't already seen part 1 of our weekly trading game plan titled The Debt Ceiling is Looming, we'd highly recommend that you also view part 1, as that talks about our market analysis from last week going into this upcoming trading week, and also our strategies and trading ideas for how to make money trading while this debt ceiling is looming, how to protect your capital, etc. For this trading week and while the debt ceiling is looming. Good morning, MD. Thank you for joining us. Hope you all are having a great Mother's Day, doing well. So firstly, we'll quickly review some of our trade updates for this past week. Firstly, we got stopped out of our long position, our most recent long position in DNN, Denison Mines Corporation. This is one of our uranium plays. Again, part 1 and the previous weeks, you'll hear how we're playing the sector rotation in and out of uranium, and also how we're going to continue to do so. So you can see we entered DNN at 103 on the 3rd, got stopped out on the 10th at 112 for a nice profit, about 8.7%, equating to a monthly ROI of about 37% for this scalp swing trade. And congratulations to all our fellow BeachBum traders who also profited from this scalp or swing trade on DNN. And as you'll see, we're going to try to rinse and repeat that in the upcoming week or weeks. So again, the sector rotation into uranium, you'll see we've made some money on that. We'll continue to do so. Generac, we had sold a cash secured put against Generac at 85 on the 19th. Or we sold, there was a 519 expiration. We sold it on the 26th at 330, bought it back for a nickel on 510 for a net premium profit of 325. So congratulations to everyone who also profited from this swing trade using a cash secured put on Generac. And again, we'll talk about our strategy with selling and buying back puts as a way to generate additional income, while we wait for the markets to trend. We also had added, we moved SATS up from the bullpen. We tried to get into SATS which is EchoStar Corporation, on the 9th. We got in at 1502. We got stopped out on the we got in on the 9th at 1502. We got stopped out on the 10th at 1503, essentially a break even. We're going to continue to try to get back into SATS, and you'll see it's run up a little bit, but if it comes back down, you can hear again why we like SATS as well in our previous due diligence video. So again, we'd recommend that if you'd like to know our thesis behind our trades in EchoStar SATS. Our other uranium play that we've been watching and trading is UROY. We got stopped out of our latest long position, UROY. We entered on 420 at 196. We got stopped out on the 10th at $1.99, small profit for about 1.5%, equates to a monthly of about 2.3%. I believe several of our other fellow BeachBum traders got in lower and made even higher profit on this swing trade in UROY. So congratulations to all of you who profited from this swing trade in UROY. And again, you'll see we're going to try to play the sector rotation in uranium using UROY as well. So in a second, I'll jump over and we'll look at each of those charts and these trades. But in the meantime, if you'd like to get real-time trade alerts when we enter and exit these trades, any level of our Patreon can get email notifications as we enter and exit these trades. We'll post them through Patreon, and also they'll get posted in several alerts channels in our Discord that I'll show you briefly. And again, our Patreons, any level of our Patreons have access to this information. Again, I don't ever recommend that anyone blindly follow us or anyone else into trades. However, if you would find it beneficial to see when, what, and when we're entering and exiting trades, if that would help you make money, succeed in your trading career, again, you can get that information by joining our Patreon at any level. So here in our Patreon, we have a couple alerts channels that are accessible to our Patreon members. We have one that's Thinkorswim TOS alerts, and that includes automated price target alerts that I set in Thinkorswim. They get triggered. Then if we follow those up with a trade, or in this case, you can see it triggered a stop where we had placed our stop on both DNN and UROY. So then I'll follow that up with an update in that channel, indicating the update to our trade as well. And then otherwise, if it's not triggered by a Thinkorswim price alert, then I'd post it in the trade alerts channel. So you can see the puts that we sold and bought back for Generac. I posted in that trade alerts channel. So again, you can get all that information when we enter and exit trades by joining any level of our Patreon. So let me grab a quick drink, and we'll then jump over and we'll look at the charts for those trades. Congratulations to Ricky Khan for your profit DNN, also your potential profit UROY. So here's that trade in DNN. As we mentioned, we got in on the 3rd, about 103 or so, rode it up. You can see it got rejected off of that resistance level, rolled back down below this 112 pivot point. So that's where we had our stop place, was just under that resistance point. So we got stopped out of DNN. Again, we're going to be watching for DNN to come back down. If we get this sector rotation out of uranium, again, anywhere, around $1 is pretty good for DNN. The low point's about 91, 92, so that would be the ideal entry. But again, anywhere around $1, it's got good support there as well. So if it pulls back around $1, we'll try to swing DNN again. You can see it's got plenty of upside up to the 150, so 50% potential upside in DNN. Good, Generac. We sold the put previously when it was on decline, so the price of that put goes up. Then when it runs back up, the price of that put goes down, so we bought it back at $0.05. And again, if we see a reversion, a downtrend in Generac, that may be one of the puts that we look at. Again, towards the end of this video, when we look at our puts ROIC strategy, we'll see what potential opportunities we have to generate income using selling puts and buying them back in this manner. So SATS, I'll zoom in a little bit. Again, I think on the 9th, we got in around 1502 or so. It looked like it was going to trend up. You can see it briefly dip down. Part of the thesis on SATS is they had a very negative reaction to their earnings. In my humble opinion, I felt that it was an irrational reaction to their earnings report. And you can see it plummeted and then bounced back rather quickly. And then kind of rolled over. So we got stopped out briefly. It's been relatively flat since then. But again, if we get just a slight pullback, it looks like it's pretty stable. If we get a slight pullback, we'll try to go long SATs again. We see it's got, again, plenty of upside up into the 20s. So, if 30% potential upside short term and much higher longer term. UROI. Again, we got in a little bit high at 196. It then went down. Several other people, again, probably were able to get in lower after we sent out our trade alert. Again, we try to give our Patreons the opportunity to, get in at a lower price before we announce anything out on social media, etc. So we see UROI then went up. Eventually, it broke above 2, but when it rolled back over at 199, we stopped out, and you see it declined further since then. So ideally, we'll see if it comes back and retraces down to this 181 level or so, or reaches some other support level, and then we'd look at re-entering UROI. Again, plenty of potential upside into the high 2s, low 3s. So again, plenty of potential profit to be had in UROI. So now we'll talk about what we have in our main watch list for this upcoming week. Again, our main watch list, we have real-time automated systems that run against these, alert me when they're moving up or nearing our price targets, etc. So these are the ones we're watching real time for this week. So this is our top swing trading stock watch list for this week. Okay, we talked about DNN. Yesterday we saw the decrease in oil. Oil briefly dipped below 70 again. We looked at that wick down to 65. So you can see we've got a couple plays potentially if we get that quick decrease in oil. One of them is Gush. Gush is the bull 2x long on oil. So again, if we get that dip below 70, the previous low was in CL, crude oil, WTI, was about 64.36. So I'm looking for that to be the bottom. That would be the trigger then to look at a potential short-term trade in Gush. And then the longer term trade that we're looking at in oil is USOI. USOI is a monthly dividend paying ETN on oil. So again, if oil dips down to that level, we'd buy a chunk of USOI and hold it for the monthly dividend. You can see the next dividend date is 5/19. You can see it pays almost $1.95 in dividends, so it's a very juicy dividend. But again, I'd like to be able to get it cheaper on that quick decrease in oil. So again, I'm watching the oil price to be the trigger to enter either of those positions. We've been watching IPI a while. This is our potash trade opportunity. Again, you can see our short video and why we like IPI. We'll also see this in our ETF spreadsheet. They had a very negative reaction to earnings, so we'll see it's been in decline, pretty steady decline since then. So I'm just waiting for that to establish a support, a bottom, and then it's pretty volatile. So once it does, it may bounce pretty quickly. So again, we're just looking for that entry point in IPI to play the sector rotation into potash. And again, you can hear our thesis over the past several weeks as well as why we think potash is a positive going forward. MP Materials we've been watching. It's run up a little bit, had again a negative reaction to earnings. It has run up above our price target right now. You can hear our thesis behind why we like MP Materials via this link in the notes for our previous due diligence video. So we're still looking again for an entry point in MP Materials. OPP is this fixed income bond fund, pays a nice monthly dividend. It's recently gone ex-dividend. The next ex-dividend isn't until June 14th. You can hear my thesis between when to buy and not to buy OPP in terms of combining both the monthly dividend and the price appreciation. Again, you can hear that via this bonus link in the notes as well. And we talked about SATS. Another one we're adding this week, this one popped up in our dividend payers spreadsheet that we'll look at towards the end. And I think this is interesting. So this is TROX. It's a basic material chemical. I'm going to jump over to FinBiz so we can look at the description for that. I thought this was interesting. It pays a quarterly dividend. The next, it just went ex-dividend. I didn't buy it before the recent ex-dividend, and we'll see, kind of where that sits. But I think this is an interesting both dividend play as well as, I want to get the FinBiz link, and then we'll look at their description. So you can see it's plummeted with that rotation out of basic materials as well. If we look a little bit longer term, I'd like to see it establish some level of support. It looks like it could have some potential downside, so I want to see it establish a support, start to swing back up. You can see it's below its moving averages right now. It's got, potential upside up to, the mid-20s, so more than a double if we get that long-term swing. But again, I wanted to show you briefly the description of what they do. They're into titanium nitrate pigments for things like paint, coatings, bearings, etc. So again, I thought that zircon, again, I thought that was a pretty interesting basic material, and probably pretty rare, not a whole lot of competition. It's a US based. Again, they service are global, so North America, South Central America, Europe, Asia Pacific, so global company. They are profitable. They did have a down quarter a couple quarters ago, and so it looks like a potential recovery play. So the current quarter was positive, the previous one slightly negative, and the one before that was even more positive. So again, even though they lost money this quarter, the current quarter they made money, and I think it's just being beaten down primarily with the sector rotation out of basic materials. So that's kind of my overall thesis on why I like TROX, why we added it to the watch list, both for the dividend and the potential price appreciation. So, and again, you can all let me know if you'd like a more detailed due diligence video on TROX, and we can see what we can do in those regards. Talked about UROI, we talked about USOI. Wheat is one we've been watching for a while. This is the ETF to play wheat long. Wheat did bounce back up. I kind of missed that bounce, so we're looking for a slight retracement of wheat, and then we would take that long in wheat using the WEAT ETF. If you would like to get more frequent updates to our watch list, any level of our Patreon also has access to an automatically generated web page. It gets generated every day with any updates to our watch list. It also includes price targets, the dividend paying information, ex-dividend dates, yields, etc., optionality information. So again, if you'd like access to that automatically generated web page with our daily watch list, you can join any level of our Patreon and get access to that. Also, if I make any further changes to our watch list, I post those in a stocks watch list channel in our Discord. Again, that any level of our Patreon also has access to. So the last time we saw that dip in oil, I've always wanted to try to get into USOI when we get a dip in oil. So we posted that out to that channel in the Discord when I saw that happen. So again, if you'd like those updates, you can join any level of our Patreon and get that information. So now we'll jump back to Webull and we'll look at the charts for each of those stocks in our watch list. So again, another nice thing about Webull is you can have all kinds of different watch lists. It's easy to flip between them. Again, I'm using the online browser version of Webull. This is the stock screen, so I can look at the charts of all of these. So we looked at DNN already. We see Gush. See where the previous low on Gush is. It's hovering just a little bit above that. Oil sitting around 70 right now. Again, there's a leveraged ETF, so it's going to naturally decay. So again, you want to use the actual WTI price as the potential trigger to identify the low, and then look for Gush to bottom and swing back up. Same thing with USOI. So again, you see it load the last time oil took a dip. You can see it's significantly higher from that previous low. So we'd be waiting for it to come back down. But again, the trigger would be the low in WTI oil. You'd see it pays, a nice dividend. Here's IPI, that potash play. You can see on their earnings, they plummeted. It's been declining. It's not clear whether this is the bottom yet or not, or if it's going to continue to kind of bleed off. So I'm just waiting for it to establish a decent support, swing back up. You can see it's kind of choppy. It's kind of interesting as well, as this tends to run up in the first half hour or so of trading, and then kind of bleed out towards the end of the day. So I wouldn't be too eager to jump in right away. You want to wait to see the overall trend, as it does tend to just kind of bleed out towards the end of the day. MP Materials, again, kind of missed that bottom at 2021, since run up. Looks like it's rolling over. So again, that looks like a pretty good support level. So we'll see if we get a little bit of a pullback in MP Materials and see if we can catch it at that 20 area. It gives us, pretty good upside into the, mid 30s. So, not quite a double, but pretty good upside in MP Materials. OPP is that bond income fund. Ideally, I'd like it around 8. Again, it didn't quite dip down. And again, you can listen to our previous video on, it was paying a 12-cent dividend. So it's still sitting above 8 by more than 12 cents. So I want to combine the price appreciation along with the dividend payment to get an overall return in OPP. Morning, Easy Mike. Thank you for joining us. Glad to see you as well. Again, SATS, it had that irrational negative reaction to earnings, plummeted down. We looked at that. We're just looking for a slight pullback. Ideally, anywhere around 15 or so. We looked at TROX. Again, like to see if that's a stable bottom. It's making, continuing to make lower lows, trailing off. Again, decent upside into the 17s or so, and longer term maybe up to 20. We looked at UROI, USOI. Here's wheat. So again, it recently bounced, kind of missed that bottom, around 609. So it bounced, retraced, and quite come all the way back. If we can get this retracement again, that would then catch that bounce. You can see it bounced pretty quickly. So I was going to chase it up. If we get that retracement in wheat, then we'll look at a long in wheat. Again, not super upside until you get a very longer term. So. Okay, we don't have any additions to our bullpen. I'm taking, we've moved SATS up from our bullpen into our main watch list. So again, our concept of the bullpen is anything that might present an attractive setup in the near future. But those that I don't watch real time during the day, the automation will tell me if it comes close to its price target. But again, I'm not watching it in real time. So right now we don't have any additions, but I revisit, run queries, etc. every day. And then if it looks like something might be approaching a attractive setup, then I'd add it to the bullpen. We'd update our watch list. And again, our Patreons would get notified of those updates via our automatically generated web page and or Discord channel. So as those come out, I'll post those to the watch list and or the Discord as well. So now we'll look at our ETF spreadsheet. Let me grab a drink a second, and then we'll talk about our ETFs. I'll bring up our ETF spreadsheet. So if there's a particular category, index, topic, etc., that you want to look at potential ETF plays, we can do that. Again, let me grab a drink a second, and then we'll talk about ETFs in more detail. Okay, first I want to mention that Walter Lyons mentioned this EPV, which is an ultra short on FTSE Europe, in our live chat last week. Thank you again, Walter, for pointing that out to us. You'll see we've added that ETF under the Europe category as a way to short Europe. So again, gives us an opportunity to play Europe short. So we'll see that again in our ETF spreadsheet. As you'll see, the trigger for that is I'd be watching EURL. I looked at several of the longs and shorts for Europe. I like this EPV as a way to short Europe, but the long I'd prefer would be EURL. So I would be looking for that to hit resistance and roll over to indicate a potential entry point in EPV. But again, this gives us a way to short Europe as a concept. So again, thank you to Walter for pointing that out to us. We also have several videos we've released on financial sector ETFs, gold and silver, and you can access our video on real estate ETFs via the bonus link in our notes. So we won't belabor those. Also, just a quick reminder that our all access and VIP Patreons have access to this ETF Google Sheet, 24/7. So you'll also, be able to access all these additions as we make updates to that. And you can see the price changes in near real time, and also as we automatically update support and resistance levels via our automated systems. So I'll zoom this in a little bit. Hopefully it will still be legible. So again, if anybody in the chat has a particular topic you want us to look at, we could do that. Yesterday we looked at the various tech sectors in the NASDAQ. So we talked about biotech, we talked about semiconductors, etc. So you can see that and where those sit in our video from yesterday. We talked about the negative sentiment in China currently. So if you want to short China, it's yang. Long China, I think the longer term trend is still up. That would be yen. Our coking coal play that we like is METC, but you can see it's significantly above the support level. So if we see that negative sector rotation out of coking coal, I'm watching METC for a possible entry again. Looked at copper. Copper declined pretty significantly, but it's still, sitting quite a bit even above its 52-week low. So I'm not real eager to get into that. I think Easy Mike just mentioned corn. You said you bought corn. So again, I think it's, a little, well, it's a little bit above where we could get a, decent return. So short-term trade, it looks like that is a support level, 52-week low. So I hope that works out well for you. So here's that long in Europe. So this is the long in Europe. So in terms of an entry into the short, here's EPV, the one that Walter pointed out. So you can kind of see the risk reward profile. Longer term, it's pretty good. It's sitting, pretty close to its 52-week low. But again, we'd want to see EURL up near a resistance point, 47 or so, for a longer term swing short in Europe. So right now, I think, generally Europe is trending up. So again, you can play Europe, EURL long, and now EPV short. We talked about the FANG stocks yesterday. Easy Mike's asking about silver, uranium. We talked a little bit about some of the uranium plays. We can look at silver. Obviously, gold sitting above 2,000 right now. Silver, I was getting some alerts, that AGQ, I think it is, was moving up. So our long, AGQ is the long on silver. See, it's, pretty high right now. There's a short on silver, which is ZSL, but again, silver could go, up to 30. So I wouldn't be eager to short silver, although again, short-term day trades, you can use ZSL to short, AGQ to long. If you're looking to catch that bounce in gold off 2000, GDXU is our favorite long play for short-term trades for gold. So I hope that helps. So I hope that answers your question, Ricky. Short-term, if you want to play it, short-term trades, long AGQ, short ZSL, if you want to hold it. And for the longer-term swing, which I think we're going to get an upswing still, there's a couple ways. SILJ, I think, is Easy Mike pointed that one out to us. This is a junior miners. In silver, we like to hold and are holding a big chunk of SLBO. It's a monthly dividend paying ETN on silver. So we're still holding SLBO. Now, if silver peaks up, close to 30, we'll probably look at exiting that position in SLBO. We talked about volatility yesterday with the debt ceiling looming. We're currently long UBXY. We'll see if we get a pickup in volatility with the fears over the debt ceiling. We talked about wheat. We're watching wheat, so we can see the risk reward on wheat. We saw the chart as well. Someone was asking, I think it was yesterday, about solar. We saw that big run up in solar. So ETFs in solar are raised and tan. You see they've run up a little bit. Again, I don't know of an ETF to short solar right now. ETF for steel is SLX. So with that sector rotation in steel, I'm watching SLX as well as stocks like X, etc. So natural gas, again, you can see all the various ETFs for all the various categories, topics, etc. in the spreadsheet. And again, you can access this at any time if you're a all access or VIP member of our Patreon. And again, a lot of these price columns are updated with Google Finance functions, so they're real time within about 20 minutes, so it's sufficient to find a trend, and then the support, resistance, bottom, tops, etc. Get updated from our database at the end of each day. Okay. And yesterday we looked at this technology component screener that's in the screener tab of this spreadsheet, as well as a number of other screeners you can use to monitor various categories, breakdowns of various stocks as well. So I hope that all helps. Okay. In terms of shopping list stocks, again, the concept of our shopping list is, stocks you always want to buy on an irrational reaction to earnings. If we get this big drop due to the fears of the debt ceiling, or if we actually get a default, even if it's just a technical default in the next coming weeks, we might get a significant drop in the stock market, and that might give us an opportunity to buy up stocks that we always wanted to buy, hold, invest in, swing trade, etc. So you can hear some of our strategies, some of the potential trading opportunities with the debt ceiling is looming in part one. Again, we still got the bank collapse issues. We're still watching PAC-W might go, WAL, who else, we don't know. So make sure your shopping list is not, vulnerable to either the debt ceiling issues we discussed or the bank collapse issues. Stay away from zombie stocks, zombie companies, zombie ETFs. And again, this may, with the debt ceiling issue, it may accelerate us into a recession. And otherwise, the expectation is sometime within this year, we're going to be in a technical recession again. Okay, so additional trade ideas. Again, I'll just throw my not financial advice banner up as well. Just a reminder, none of our content should be considered financial advice. We're not financial advisors. All of this is for education and hopefully some level of entertainment purposes only. So we'll talk about a couple of our other strategies for making money while we wait for, this debt ceiling issue to get resolved, wait for the markets to trend, one way or the other, so we can get better longer term swing trade type of opportunities. So while we wait, one of our strategies is piling into dividend payers. So we have a whole spreadsheet also of dividend payers that I'll bring up. And this allows you to select various dividend paying stocks, ETFs, etc., that fit your desire for either income, price appreciation, combination of both, your schedule for payouts, if you want monthly, quarterly, a combination, etc. So you can use our dividend payers spreadsheet to identify those that meet your strategy and your schedule. And again, our all access and VIP Patreons have access to this dividend payer spreadsheet all the time. And as we identify additions, we add them to the spreadsheet. They get updated then by our automated systems, and you can see where their prices are based on the Google functions. So we'll look at that in a second. I'll spin through if anybody wants to look at anything specifically in the chat. If you throw it up in the chat, we'll take a look at those. I did recently add several, and we'll take a look at these. I think these are kind of interesting. Thank you to Optimize Portfolio for letting us know about these. These are floating rate bond ETFs, and there's 3 of them that I did the research on, and we'll take a look at: USFR, TFLO, and FLOT. So again, thank you to Optimize Portfolio for pointing those out to us, and we'll see if there's potential opportunities for those. So why don't I look at those first? So again, I put them in the Add tab so I could do the research. So I can identify the support and resistance levels, look at what their risk-reward profiles are for each of those. You can see these are floating rate treasury funds. So there's the Wisdom Tree, USFR, iShares, TFLO, and floating rate bond is FLOT. You can see they have very similar risk reward. The risk reward profile for price appreciation is pretty low. I want to look at the FinViz charts for them, and you'll see there may be potential short-term opportunity here. Again, not a whole lot of price appreciation opportunity, but let's look at each of them in FinViz. So you see they all have this type of trend where they're very short-term Treasury fund. I'll look at the description very quickly. They're all very similar. Total assets. See the floating rate. So again, very short-term bond funds. The Bloomberg U.S. Treasury Floating Rate Bond Fund Index is what at least several of them track. And again, you see they have this monthly trend where they start low, go high. You can see there isn't really a whole lot of price appreciation. It's 20 cents or so, but it's pretty reliable. So I'm thinking about a potential opportunity where if you just play this trend on a monthly basis with a large large number of shares, where a 20-cent price appreciation would be interesting. So let's look at TFLO and FLOT. And all very similar. Yeah, not a whole lot of price appreciation, but they all have this, the beginning of the month, they start low and then they run up to some level. So again, there might be an opportunity there to, generate some short-term income. They pay, monthly dividend. It's, not huge, 20 cents or so a month. So again, on a large block of shares, you can get, 20 cents a month plus that 20 cent or so price appreciation. So, maybe 40 cents on a share. It doesn't seem to be too bad. They run $50 a piece or so. So again, I think I'm going to run some further numbers, do some further research, and see if that strategy of buying them early in the month and just kind of holding them with a large block of shares for a longer period. So you see this one has a little bit different behavior. It had a significant drop, doesn't really have as much range. So it's holding less than 5 years. So this one's FLOT is a little bit different. So again, you can look into these in more detail. Again, I'm probably going to do some further research to see if that presents an opportunity, given the regularity of how those guys run up, from a particular date. This ran up March 27th to April 21st. April 21st. So when it peaks and it drops, so you obviously would want to get out before it drops and then pick it back up. Good morning, Tony Roses. Thank you for joining us. Glad to see you. So everybody, let me know, are you in any of these floating rate bond funds? What do you think of these? Does it look like that's a good opportunity? Again, in the comments, in our Discord, let me know if you're in any of these floating rate bond funds and what you think of them. I'd be interested to hear your feedback. Okay, so we can quickly look at some of the other dividend payers. If anybody has anything specific you want to look at, we can look at those. Again, I recently added the industry category so we can see what industry they're in. So here's a monthly dividend payer on convertible securities, CWB. You can see the total adjusted yield on these. You can see the ex-dividend dates. DBA is on agricultural products, doesn't meet our criteria for yield. DX is a mortgage-backed REIT. I don't really like mortgage-backed REITs. FCAP's a regional bank. Don't like those. GLDI we've got a bunch of. We talked last week about this GOGL as a shipper. I think it's a China-based shipper. This is another regional bank. IBM showing up. They pay, about a 5% dividend. That's a dividend aristocrat. It's sitting above support. Hasn't really moved a whole lot. We used to buy IBM on negative irrational reactions to earnings. We've looked at this junk. We're keeping an eye on this junk bond that somebody pointed out. Again, doesn't really have the risk-reward profile, but it does pay a 50-cent monthly dividend. So if you're interested in that, we're still holding a chunk of land. Obviously, all the real estate REITs have been very beaten down, so there might be an opportunity. Doesn't pay a real high dividend. It's only 5 cents a month, so it's more for the price appreciation. Same thing with MPW. We're still holding a chunk of MPW. Again, that one's been beaten down. That's a healthcare facilities, hospital REIT's been, again, very beaten down. So if we get some discrimination in the REITs and real estate, there may be an opportunity there. I think several of our other BeachBum traders have been trading MPW and land as well. Welcome, Born to Be Free. Thank you for joining us. Moving to Brevard, great. I think you'll like it here. OPP we talked about. We've watched these. PDI. I think we have a video out. We're coming out on PDI. Siri, their chart just doesn't look very good, very healthy. Talked about TROX, so here's where TROX popped up, and I didn't know offhand what they were, chemicals, so that's that green highlight is what caused me to dig deeper into TROX. That titanium nitrate coatings, etc., seems attractive. I believe a number of people are in UAN. It's pays a $10 dividend, just paid out. So again, it's been paying up a pretty sizable dividend quarterly. It's a little bit expensive. So again, if you're a all access VIP member of our Patreon, you can peruse this at any time. Prices will adjust. Also, our automated systems, if they change their ex-dividend date or their payout date, if it'll pick that up and automatically update that information at the end of each day. So again, easy way to find out, when's the next ex-dividend date of any of these dividend payers, what's their expected next payout. Then again, you could schedule, how to get your optimize your monthly, quarterly, etc. dividends. So again, we hope that all helps. We also have an automated feed in our Discord in the investing channel. So as companies announce dividend hikes, they will be posted in the investing channel in our Discord. Again, our Discord's free to join. The vast majority of the channels, including this investing channel, are free to join. I'll throw the link up in the banner. You can also find the link to join our Discord for free in the description box below. So again, most of the channels, with the exception of the alerts and Watchlist channel that are exclusive, and a Beach Cabana channel that are exclusive to our Patreons, all the other channels are accessible for free. So again, you can see as people announce dividend hikes, it gets automatically posted in that investing channel. We have a whole series of videos on the evolution of our dividend payers, the strategy, etc., that you can listen to all those videos via this link in the notes, and or by searching for how to find the best dividend paying stocks on our BeachBum Trading YouTube channel. Let me grab a quick drink, and we'll also talk about our option strategy and how we're using covered calls and puts to generate additional income. Okay. So again, we've been using this strategy of selling covered calls, buying them back cheaper, selling puts, buying them back cheaper, generate additional income, and we've got a spreadsheet also to identify opportunities to sell and buy back puts. And again, this spreadsheet is accessible to our all access and VIP Patreons. We also have links to tools that we use to identify additional opportunities to sell puts again. And you can see the whole series of videos on the evolution of our option strategy, how we put together this puts ROIC Google Sheet, how you can use it, both in this link and also in the options playlist on our YouTube channel. So the ones in yellow right now are the ones that I already have. I currently have orders on. As you heard earlier in our trade updates, we had previously sold put against Generac, then we bought it back at 5 cents. So we'll continue to see if that presents an opportunity again. But right now we have orders out on Amazon at 80. Disney we added on the recent decline on their earnings call. We've got a put order to sell at 85 for June. We've got one on Enphase at 125. Got one at Moderna at 115. Got one at Tesla 120. I may pull that one as Tesla's run up. And the pricing, is not that attractive. You can also see the prices that I either have the order out at currently, or as I research them and kind of look for a potential sell price, I'll put that in the sell price column in our spreadsheet as I identify that. And then if Experian I've been watching and it's, got a potential ROI of, 14% at its 52-week high, which is much higher, I might change or add a different ROIC based on our actual sell price. But again, we'll be watching this and see if we get a decline in the market. If some of these others offer opportunities to sell puts, then when they bounce back up, we'll buy them back, keep the difference in premium as additional income. And then we have others in the research tab that, I'm not watching as closely, but if they do happen to present an opportunity, if they're high for the day, hits over $1, I might take a further look at those. And then I use the option seller tool every day to see if there's anything else worth adding. So all of these tools are available to you as a all access or VIP member of our Patreon, and you can use this spreadsheet. Again, these get updated in near real time, so anybody showing in green is going down. You might look at selling. Anybody in red's going back up. So not a good sell, but if I already sold one, then I want to see it going back up, see if I can buy it back cheaper. So that's our strategy, or part of our strategy for generating additional income, again, while we wait. So if anyone has any last minute questions, I definitely need to wrap up before an hour. If, again, anybody in the chat has any additional questions, I apologize if I missed your question previously. Please throw it back up in the chat, and I will try to address it in the last couple minutes. Again, you can always put your comments after the fact, or if you're watching this video later, you put the comments under this video. You can always ask us questions in our free Discord. Just tag us in the Discord. BeachBum Trading, ID 7313. That's us, except no imposters. We have a Facebook group, Reddit community, etc. There's all the links to our social media, so you can message us on any of our social media via the links on our homepage under the links section. Our homepage is beachbumtrading.com, bum without the U. So again, plenty of ways you can ask any questions. If you want us to do due diligence on a stock, if you'd like us to investigate, a put, some kind of options, do research on that, we can do that. or if you just have a question about how we can help you succeed in your trading career, well, that's why we're here. We do all this video content for free, and we're here to help you make money trading in any kind of market and succeed in your trading career. So that's our objective and the mission of our channel. So again, thank you to everyone that joined us in the chat, everyone that's watching this video after the fact. We look forward to hearing from you. And again, everyone have a wonderful rest of your Mother's Day and a very successful trading week this week of May 15th through May 19th. And we'll see you all on the trading floor and next week. So please share this. Please hit the like, the thumbs up to help the algorithm share this with further traders. Please share this. Thank you again to MD. I know he referred some new subscribers, and we appreciate that. So we hope everyone will, tell 2 friends. It'll help us grow the community for the mutual benefit of everyone in our BeachBum trading community. So thank you again. Have a great rest of your Mother's Day and a great trading week.